Hello, everybody. It's me, your good friend Sparky, and welcome to 1 Week Later, the gameplay review series where we give our impressions on brand new video games approximately a week after launch. It's been about that for Pokémon Legends ZA here, and I've honestly got a lot to say about this game. I've been enjoying my time with it quite a lot. I'd say overall, as far as my main impressions go, this game is kind of utterly fantastic. I've heard a lot of people are having complaints about it, but I genuinely... It's not that I don't see them. I have my issues too, which I will address here. But, at the same time, I don't think they're necessarily that big of a deal in general. I don't know what the general criticisms of the game are so far, and how they compare to mine, but there might be some crossover, if you happen to know the better goings-on with the Pokemon fandom than I do. I mostly keep to myself. I don't really take part in competitive battling or tons of in-depth training regimen things, or what have you. I typically play Pokemon very casually, and this feels like a pretty good game for casual Pokemon fans. It's definitely a very different kind of game, for sure, but I'm still enjoying myself with it quite immensely. Let's see, though. We should probably get into talking about some of the more detailed aspects of the game, because gameplay is typically divided up into a few different forms with ZA here. The first of which being the Wild Zones. I'm at a point in the story where I've got a few new Wild Zones that have actually just opened up. These are going to be your primary locations for actually catching Pokemon. That's not to say there are exclusively Pokemon in the Wild Zones. You can still find them scattered about while exploring Luminose City, which is all fine and dandy. We're gonna go ahead and fly right over here. Wild Zone 11 is new, and it's right next to Wild Zone 6. As you make progress through the game, these Wild Zones gradually open up, and more Pokemon will start to take over the city and completely cut people off from living a normal life. The Wild Zones contain parks and businesses and contain very dangerous alpha Pokemon, which I'm pretty sure I see one right there. It's a Alpha Slowbro. So let's go inside. Bam. So Legends CA, it carries over the basic gameplay of Legends Arceus, which is the more free-roaming exploration type of gameplay where you are able to very freely wander about, catch Pokemon at your leisure. You don't even necessarily have to battle them if you don't want to. If you are sneaky about it, you can just have a grand old time walking by Pokemon, hucking Pokeballs at them, sneaking up behind them. It's just fun. Right now, we have an Alpha Slowbro, which is another feature that carries over some from Arceus. The Alpha Pokemon are typically much tougher, much stronger than your average Pokemon. I'm at about a comparable level to those guys right now. Oh, that Odo I was training can evolve. I'll worry about that later. Let's see. We are going to have our Lopunny out, named Zoe, because she knows Thunder Punch. I also have Absol here with Dark-type moves, which can be pretty handy. But we're going to see if we can just critical capture this Slowbro. No, we cannot. He is angry now. So in this game, in Legends Arceus, he is gunning for me. Why am I still crawling? I don't like that. In Legends ZA, they have completely revamped the battle system. It is no longer a turn-based battle system as it is in core Pokemon games, or your average spin-off. More or less meaning just Legends Arceus, because it was very much a turn-based battle system in Arceus as well. Not quite the same as standard Pokemon, but as you can see, it is much more free-flowing and real-time. You actively have to try and stay out of the way of battles, because if you don't, you're gonna have a bad time. You can get attacked, you can get hit, and you can get knocked out, much like in Arceus. I'm gonna capture you. You got in the kind of crossfire here. Oh, you got knocked out. That's no good. We're just gonna go ahead and try to land the last blow here. Why are you not knocked out yet? Roll out in, please. There we go. I really should have switched off my quick ball. And I completely screwed that up. Okay, cool. Anyway. It is a completely different sort of story in comparison to regular Pokemon and Arceus. It's active battles. You've got a lot you gotta keep track of. Sometimes, as you saw, other wild Pokemon can just wander into the fight and cause mayhem. And you have to be very careful around different kinds of Pokemon as well, because certain Pokemon are going to be more aggressive than others. Like Slowpoke here, he typically doesn't really bother you. Alpha Pokemon are typically always aggressive. And Pokemon like Furfrou here, also very much aggressive. You've got to be really careful with being spotted, because unlike in Arceus, where there was typically a lot of, grassy areas to kind of hide in and sneak around, that is not always the case in this game. The entire game is contained to Luminose City, which was one location, a location in general from Pokemon X and Y. It is one of the biggest cities in any Pokemon game, I'm pretty sure. But in that game, you were kind of just limited to roaming around the streets and things like that. Oh, hello there. I didn't even notice you. I'm gonna fight you. Come on. There we go. Oh, Earthquake. That's a little scary. I could switch, but I won't. Ow, and you broke out, didn't you? Shucks, I didn't have a Stunfisk yet either. Oh well. Luminose City and X and Y, yeah, it was your much more of an average sort of Pokemon town. It was big, but you couldn't really go off and explore the city all that well. You were very much limited to just the set paths the game could let you walk around on. I am being assaulted from all sides here. That is no good. I'm gonna run away, because running away is very much an option. These guys are mean. Still have someone on our case. It's a Clauncher. Okay, we're gonna escape the Wild Zone for a second to get him off our tail. Let's see. That's back into Wild Zone 6. There's another entrance to Wild Zone 11 right up there, though. Yeah, in this game, unlike X and Y, you have complete free roam over the city. You can go on rooftops, you can wander all of the streets, you can go to just about anywhere you want. Chronologically, this game takes place about 5 years, I think, after X and Y. And there is, story-wise, urban development going on with the city in order to expand it. The wild zones are popping up, meaning that people are having to learn to cohabitate with Pokemon. And like I said, as you go on, more wild zones show up in the city and cause people's lives to be completely upended as more and more parts of the city are taken over by Pokemon. And honestly, for non-Pokemon trainers, that would probably end up being pretty scary. It's definitely interesting to consider. Just like what the ramifications of this are. I'm having no luck with these catches right now. It's a little frustrating. And this Stunfisk is just charging at me on a mission to make my life miserable, apparently. Oh no, he gave up. He was on a quest, trying to come up after me. But yeah, most of the Pokemon catching is going to be trapped to these wild zones. But because you're in a city setting, you only usually have cover and things like that frequently in more natural park-type areas like this. Hi, little buddy. Are you having a good time? You're having a good time, aren't you? I don't think I can do anything to you. You can still try to attack me, but I can't actually catch you unless I'm actually in the wild zone. But yeah, there are some parts of Luminose that are decidedly more urban than others. Like, Wild Area 13 up here. Let's go check this out real quick if we can. Oh, and there's also this feature. If we lose any of our Pokeballs, this guy finds them for us. Including this one. Go get it. Thanks. Yeah, that's really fun. I don't know, it's just weirdly funny. But yeah, I'm going the wrong way. See, sometimes you have wild zones like this that are just very much more open. There's trees and stuff to kind of hide behind and bushes to hide in. But I feel like overall, it just doesn't seem to work as well as it did in Arceus. As much as I like being able to explore Luminose City, and there's nothing really wrong with picking a city setting for the game, I definitely think aesthetically and kind of exploration-wise, Arceus' setting works a lot better because you're definitely exploring the unknown. And we have the sun setting soon, which is going to cause some problems for us. We need to be... I want to try and finish my thoughts here before we actually move on to sunset. In Arceus, setting-wise, you are literally exploring completely unknown territory. It's set in the past, it's set in a time where people and Pokemon do not live in harmony, and you are literally on the edge of the frontier, gathering research on Pokemon, and learning about them, and catching them, and exploring all of these vast and varied areas. And that is definitely... It feels like it's sorely missing in ZA, unfortunately. Again, the city setting isn't necessarily bad. I like being able to explore it and being able to more freely roam around Luminose City, which it's not really a thing you were able to do in X and Y. It was a big city to explore, but like I said, you were set along set paths. You couldn't go in a lot of the buildings or anything. You can't really do that in this game either, but there's lots of extra cafes and places to visit. It feels bigger and more alive than it did in X and Y. Because it's just like a full, active, bustling city, and there's a lot to explore. But for the most part, at least so far, from what I've played, you are mostly trapped in exploring the same kind of urban city environment over and over again. Like, there's a cemetery here, which is pretty cool. There's these park-type areas, which are neat. There's a varied environments, so to say, but at the same time, it doesn't necessarily feel as impressive or as kind of, I guess, lively as Arceus did. I don't know if that makes sense. Does that make sense? The world felt more impressive in Arceus because you were constantly changing location. It was kind of you against the world as a big explorer and discoverer of a lot of things going on in the Pokemon world that nobody really knew that much about. Need a drink. Refreshing. So yeah. I like the setting in this game. But I think overall, as far as something Pokemon-based, a big draw of a Pokemon game is usually exploring an entire region, which Arceus definitely did. It was you in the Hisui region, and it just fit better with the general feel of a Pokemon game, usually. ZA definitely goes for something very different. It takes one of the biggest cities in Pokemon history and makes it even bigger and more worth your time in exploring. And as you go on in the game, there's gradually more and more to explore as more wild zones open up and you encounter more characters and more missions and things like that. You've got your main missions, you've got your side missions scattered about. There's definitely a lot to do. There's definitely a lot to explore, but it's not as interesting, I'd say, as the setting of Legends Arceus. But who's to say? Some people might actually prefer the urban environment and exploring it to the more wild and sparse environments of Arceus. Neither one of them is theoretically better than the other. They go about the world of Pokemon and exploring it in two completely different ways. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'd say that ZA has its own charms over Arceus. Oh, really? I really didn't want to get near the alpha there, but I don't even need a Weeping Bell. What am I doing? I don't need you! Goodbye. So yeah, that's catching Pokemon. That's most of what you're going to be doing as you're exploring around Luminose City is encountering the wild areas, wandering around, completing passive missions for Mabel, as you're catching Pokemon, evolving Pokemon, using Mega Evolutions, all sorts of things like that. The active battle system is neat, and we'll get a little more into that as the sun sets here, because it's going to lead us into the next major gameplay aspect to Legends ZA, which is the ZA Royale. Right now, you can see my goofy little profile picture there. The ZA Royale is the central focus of the game, where you gradually make your way up in the rankings as they are aiming to try and find the strongest Mega Evolution user to pacify some of the problems that are happening in the city. Because there is a lot going on in this story. And the ZA Royale is a huge, huge part of that. Right now, I don't have any kind of active missions set for advancing in the ZA Royale, just because of the point of the story I'm in. I'm going to be doing a little bit of story stuff, just to kind of show it, but I'm not going to be advancing in the story too quickly during this particular gameplay showcase here. But the ZA Royale is all about trainer battles. And trainer battles are something that, while they were in Legends Arceus, or Arceus, I just realized I might be saying that wrong. I say Arceus, you're gonna have to deal with it. As night falls over the city, the ZA Royale will kick into effect here. I love Hyper Beam in this game. I really do. You can tell when it is going to shift from day to night when it gives you those notices on screen. And there's kind of a time gauge around your mini-map up there that shows you how long the day and night is going to be. Nights are shorter than days, and every time night pops up, a random part of the city is turned into a battle zone, which you can typically just fly right to for ease of access. And yeah, while trainer battles were in Arceus, they were not a central kind of focus by a long shot. Of course, this being set in the modern era where trainer battles are going to be much more common than they would be in the classic Pokemon era. You basically set off trainer battles by ambushing your opponents. They had to include trainer battles, of course, seeing that this is 5 years after ZA, and Pokemon battling is going to be commonplace in the modern era. So, they definitely came up with a pretty unique solution. Of course, again, it's all based around the active battle system. Hi. One of the precious cards you got, thanks. You get these mission cards, and you gather up, what do they call them? The Challenger's Ticket points as you defeat trainers. And you also gather up prize medals as well, which then translate... Ooh, excuse me. Okay. That was weird. You also gather up prize medals as well, which then translate into money at the end of the night. Like I said, there's not really much point in doing the ZA Royale story-wise right now, but gathering up Challengers tickets ahead of times and always getting more money is usually a good idea. You gather it passively by just kind of wandering around and fighting people, but at the same time, you can also gather them by completing those missions up top there. You gather up the mission cards that are lying around, or from trainers too. That is probably not a good thing. Hi. I'm gonna Hyper Beam you, because I feel like it. And then Earth Power. Bam! Oh dear. That did not knock you out, as I was expecting. The victory! And see, we made a little bit of progress on using super effective moves for that one bonus card mission there. So, you should always be trying to focus on catching your opponents off guard with these missions, with the battles in this game. If they do that to you and they see you coming, it can stun you momentarily, depending on how they catch you. I think... Oh, hello. You're a Pidgeot. Okay. I think the way it's supposed to work, at least, if they catch you from behind, it will momentarily stun you at the start of battle, giving your opponent an advantage. But it seems really inconsistent. Sometimes it feels like I'm facing forward and I still get caught off guard. But it's actually pretty clever the way they set it up, because it is beneficial to Whoops, okay, yeah, you completely caught me off guard. And there are past rocks here. Hi, that's not fair. I need to break those. I need to break those. Who do I have to break those? I know Rollout can do that. I don't like this. I don't like this. This is stupid. I'm not having a good time with this. Okay. Now we can fight. There are no longer rocks in the way. Oh, we confuse Ray. Okay. And you also got to be really careful about when you're shifting Pokemon in and out because, yeah. Ah, I'm confused again. I don't like that. Okay. If you shift out your Pokemon in and out at... Oh, yeah, you're flying type. Darn, this guy is screwing me up in this stupid Emolga. Get out of here. Get out of here. I'm not crazy about you. Seriously. Wow. That Emolga. He was, very aggressive. Oof. Okay. That battle could have gone better. Yeah, when you're caught unaware, that is usually when you start having problems. Sometimes there'll just be someone wandering around a corner that you just don't see, and that'll start a battle when you're not ready for it, and that was a prime example of that, honestly. Especially when considering the fact that there was a barricade in the way that I had to clear out before I could even fight the guy. Yeah. So, anyway, as I was saying, it's pretty clever the way that they end up setting it up because both catching Pokemon and trainer battles are, you benefit from being sneaky. If you sneak up from behind a Pokemon when you're trying to catch them, you have a better chance at catching them. And if you sneak up behind a trainer before you battle them, you also have a pretty, I don't think I can make a Pokemon drowsy, actually. Get rid of that one. If you sneak up behind someone before you battle them, you also start at an advantage. And you can kind of hide in the distance, hide around corners here. Decide which Pokemon are going to be most opportune for whatever Pokemon they've got out. And you sneak up behind, go for the kill. And if you're lucky enough, you can start off with a super effective move like that, and it will make things, okay. Haunter, nice of you to join us. Goodbye. I mean, he was a ghost. Maybe it was just transparent and invisible or something. I don't know. So, yeah. You definitely benefit from being cautious and being sneaky. When it comes to doing battles and things like that. Because if you're not careful, you're just gonna end up being at a disadvantage quite a lot. There we go. I don't really necessarily have a lot good to deal with you. Alright, alright. What do you got next? What do you got next? Machoke. Gotcha. Oh, how dare you. Oh, well, that did not go as planned. Huh. You are being a pain. It's not necessarily the best idea I've had. Yeah. Aerial Ace, though. Ow, why did that not knock you out? Ah, jeez. That was a little hairy. So yeah, I mean, it's a pretty clever solution to kind of make the flow of the game fairly uniform, depending on if it's day or night, or if you're doing trainer battles or catching Pokemon. There's a similar sort of strategy involved, which I definitely appreciate. And obviously, some people are going to... They might have issues with the active time battle. I'll always say that Pokemon will feel mostly at home with a turn-based battle system. That's not to say the active battles are bad or anything. I'm gradually getting more and more used to them. But they definitely do take some getting used to. It's not as straightforward as just taking turns and, No, you don't see me. I'm all the way back here. Turn around. Or go off to the side or something. Nope. Your hippo is no match for me! Aha! Get out of here. Get out of here. And an Onyx, you fool. Take that. One of my biggest gripes with the active battle system is having to target your opponent. In order to really kind of be able to attack, you have to be holding down the button to target the opposing Pokemon. And it makes sense why they do that. But there are certain moves in the game that can end up, like, taking the Pokemon off the battlefield temporarily, like Dig or Fly, where it de-targets the enemy, and I won't necessarily even think about it right away, and I have to kind of repress the button in order to make my mark. Why did I not use Flamethrower or something? Now I'm using Flamethrower. So if I lose my target, I might not necessarily even realize it at first. And then it creates a problem where I can't attack because I'm not targeting the opposing Pokemon, and I just end up looking like a fool. And I am not a fool. I am a master Pokemon battler, you see. Garbodor, huh? Let's see. And now I'm poisoned. Actually... Let's see. Yeah, we're making okay progress. We are definitely getting very poisoned. And I am not crazy about that. Victory! Okay, not bad. Oh, I need another drink. So yeah. The targeting is definitely probably my biggest gripe with the battle. It feels like it should just... Instead of holding the button down, it should just be a case of where you should be able to press the button to target something, and then if you lose your target, you've got to press it again. Because it's not like the game will... If you lose your target and you're still holding down the button, it will automatically re-target the Pokemon that you're trying to fight. You have to let go of the button, then start holding it down again. And it's just a tiny bit awkward because of that. And a lot of these battle zones, they'll end up having the same kind of problems that the wild zones do, too, where there might not be necessarily a lot of places for you to, like, hide behind and effectively sneak up on your opponents to, like, catch them off guard. Because sometimes, you know, it's just, like, an open hallway, like right here. And it's not necessarily super intuitive to sneaking up and triggering battle or things like that. Because you have to be not super close, but close enough in order to be able to target the opposing Pokemon and, like, make your mark regardless. And, like, get the battle actually going. If you're too far away, you can't target whatever Pokemon that you're trying to fight. And it does create kind of awkwardness sometimes. Moo Moo Milk, thanks. 5 whole bottles of Moo Moo Milk. Dang, that's not bad, actually. I'll take that. 100 HP healing. And yeah, you don't necessarily... Oh, hi. I didn't even see you there. You apparently didn't even see me either. I wasn't being very sneaky. Why is this seahorse flying? I'm confused. Why is this seahorse flying? Oh, we're poisoned again. Hi. Let us actually... When you're in the middle of battle, you can heal once per, like, menu opening. And I guess there's a bit of a timer on it. Let's see if we can make this a little more interesting and do a Mega Evolution. Which, yes, since this is Kalos Space, Mega Evolutions are back. And they are all part of the active battle system. You get nice and powered up when you Mega Evolve. Your moves turn into what they call plus moves, which have a lot of extra added benefits to using them. Hi. A cup of coffee. Thanks. I prefer tea, though. I'm gonna drink some tea right now. Refreshing. Healed. My HP has been restored. Anyway. So yeah. Like with the wild zones and the daytime gameplay, the nighttime gameplay and the active battle systems, I've got my problems with it. Again, I don't think it's bad, though. I can see a lot of people really enjoying this. And just having a lot of fun with it in general. Oh, hello. You saw me. And that time I got stunned, and I don't necessarily know why. It stuns you, and it stuns your Pokemon. You are being a problem. And I genuinely don't know what the difference was there, why I got stunned. So, with things like that, and things with the targeting, there's some inconsistencies to the active battle system that, and the trainer battles in particular, that just are kind of awkward to work around. I can see people really liking the active battle system. In fact, I'm sure plenty of people do. But like I said, I still think that Pokemon is always going to be a little more at home with a turn-based battle system. It's just tradition at this point, and I hope the main series continues just having your basic battle system in play without any craziness. Get out of here, ice cream. And another Garbodor. Oh, and I Mega Evolved. That's no good. But this should help. I will say, too, another interesting part of the active battle system is definitely positioning your Pokemon. When you're using something like a long-range move, your Pokemon will naturally move away from the battle and closer to you. And obviously, if you're using a physical move, they have to move in close and get up close and personal when it comes to getting the battle done and over with. So, all in all, there is a lot of strategy to it about when you are supposed to be actively using moves or not. Because, like, things like timing your attacks to move your Pokemon out of the way of an incoming strike is definitely a feasible thing to do. And that's worked okay. Apparently Flamethrower can go through walls. I wasn't sure if that was going to do anything. Hi. Hyper Beam. Yeah. Goodbye. Sorry about that. I didn't mean to annihilate you with lasers, except I totally did. Alright, but yeah. So, it's not like it's totally, it's not like it's totally brainless or anything. There is definitely a lot of strategy that can go into this battle system. I think just preference-wise, I still mostly prefer your standard Pokemon battle system over this. Like I said, I think I can see a lot of people getting really into this active battle system and discovering the ins and outs of how it works and very strategically maneuvering your Pokemon around. Because unlike when you're in the wild zones, these fights are all just kind of one-on-one, so you can more effectively time attacks and time defensive maneuvers and figure out timings to use stat boosts and things like that. There's a lot to it. And I have really... Oh, you are affected by Curse, little Absol. I'm gonna switch Doggy out and maybe try to sneak up on this guy. Nope. Sneaking not done. Gotcha. And that time I was not stunned, and I don't really know why. But yeah, you've got moves like Detect and Protect that you can... Oh, you have both of them. I hate you. I already do not like Scrafty, and you are making me like him less. Go away. Yeah. Let's Mega Evolve again, just because I can. But yeah, you can properly time defensive maneuvers, you can properly time stat boosts, you can perfect your timing of when to move your Pokemon out of the way by giving them a command or move them in closer to get them out of the way of, say, a move like Earth Power, which like automatically targets right underneath the Pokemon or something like that. There is a lot of potential to this battle system to be very interesting and very thought-provoking for a lot of people. And I'm almost positive that a lot of people are going to be really, really into it and really enjoy the ins and outs of this. I don't doubt that in the slightest. I don't know if it's just necessarily for me, or if I'd even... Or, like, if I would want this, like, branched over into, like, a main series game or something like that. If they kept it to the spin-offs, I think it would be fine. Oh, well, I maxed out my points, and I don't even have a promotion match for my, to use my Challenger's ticket on. Oh, well. But yeah, you max out your points, and then you get a Challenger's ticket, and that's when you can take on whatever next promotion match the game happens to give you, as basically completely tied to story progress. I don't really have anything to do with that right now, which means I'm basically done in the battle zone. No sense in not battling, though, because we can still earn lots of money and things like that. Honestly, this is probably one of the few times I have been actively staying in the battle zone for an extended period of time. Just so I could talk about it and demonstrate the different aspects of the game. Yeah, that's pretty much the long and short of it. This battle system, the trainer battles in this game give you a lot of time to explore the battle system and kind of judge how you might like it in the long run. And it's definitely interesting to consider, whoops. Okay, I guess we're done. It's definitely interesting to consider what they might do as far as potentially tying some of this into the main series. Because, like, with Legends Arceus, they ended up carrying over some gameplay aspects from that game into Scarlet and Violet. And whenever Generation 10 comes around, it definitely would be curious what they might decide to carry over from this game into that. I kind of doubt they're gonna do away with the turn-based battle system entirely. But I don't know. They might have like active battles as an option in the next generation of Pokemon games or something. I don't know. It's interesting to consider. Because I can definitely see this battle system going a long way, but I can also see it just kind of being a one-off thing and just being limited to Legends games from this point on. And who knows, with the next Legends game, they might try something completely different again. Arceus had a fairly unique battle system. This has a fairly unique battle system. So it might, whatever the next Legends game, might have something entirely its own. Oh, I can buy Ultra Balls now. Cool. Mine. That seems good. Hucking Ultra Balls at stuff. And we got Max Potions now, too. Ooh. I don't really think I need them, but that's nice to know. Full heals. Also cool. Alright, alright. So, yeah. We've explored the wild zones. We've explored the concept of catching Pokemon. And we've explored the battling with the nighttime gameplay in the battle zones. Next up, I'd say the third important part of Arceus, I keep saying Arceus, of ZA's gameplay is the Rogue Mega Evolved Pokemon. These are a very important part of ZA's story, and they're essentially what's driving the Pokemon, driving the story along. The Rogue Mega Evolved Pokemon are popping up all over the place. There's build-ups of Mega Energy, which is causing concern, and nobody really knows what the heck is going on. We're gonna mark that as our destination, so I can keep track of which one I'm going towards. That one, okay. We're gonna go fight Bennett up here. We have the Rogue Mega Evolved Pokemon popping up. Zygarde is roaming around the city, keeping an eye on us and keeping an eye on things. And we don't, at this point in the story, we don't really know why. But we're trying to find out. And we can gradually do that by making more and more progress through the story and these Rogue Mega battles. Sorry, I need Mega Shards. I see the things. I see the lovely things. And I need to collect. Mine. Okay. Alright, we're going to talk to Naveen here, and we are going to get this section started. There you are, Sparky. Something's not quite right here. We're at the spot where the spike in Mega Power is apparently coming from. But I haven't been able to find the Bennett we're after. Perhaps we should ask Vinny to check again. You found it all right. Alternatively, he's right behind me, isn't he? Hi. Yeah. Spooky. It is indeed here, yes. The concentration of Mega Power in your vicinity is rising rapidly. Warning, Rogue Mega Evolution is imminent. So, I don't know if there's a way yet to redo these Rogue Mega fights at all, or if they are entirely tied to the story. But at different sections of the story, this is what you're primarily going to be doing. You're going after the Rogue Mega Pokemon to battle them and pacify them. And, gradually you learn more and more about what exactly is causing this to happen and what Zygarde's part in it is. And there's also this mysterious man who calls himself L, who is totally, definitely not someone you know from Pokemon X and Y. It's definitely, it's not very subtle. Maybe it's obvious on purpose and I'm going to be caught off guard as I make more progress in the story, but who knows. I can do this. As a member of Team MZ, it's my duty to help rogue Pokemon. I just need to focus. He don't like ghosts. But yep. These are essentially this game's version of boss battles. The boss battles that were in Arceus with the, like, Guardian Pokemon, I think. Where it is... takes your active battle system, and the entire point is to use plus moves. Whoa, I hate that. Definitely hate that. The entire point is to try and use plus moves to, and Mega Evolutions to try and deal damage. You are fake, I see. And I don't like that you can confuse my Pokemon. I'm not crazy about it. You're gonna keep using that, and that's pretty dumb, honestly. Alright, alright. We're gonna... Oh, I am being attacked. Okay. Oh, wow. And yeah, we have to try to use dodging and stuff to stay out of the way of the incoming attacks and things like that. Which I'm not crazy about. I really hate this Bennett. I really do. This is a very annoying fight. But yeah, you have to try and use plus moves, which let you power up your attacks, certain attacks that you learn over time. And when you're Mega Evolved, you will use plus moves regardless. Alright, alright. And I have not gotten knocked out of a fight yet. Hopefully I won't. But yeah, you have to be really careful about positioning and things like that. Now, obviously, the main point of fighting a Mega Pokemon is to Mega Evolve as well and try and get that under a way so you can really layer on damage. You can use plus moves kind of more casually during your regular form to utilize, get that extra damage in. Sorry, this is also... These are really hard to focus on because you have to pay very much close attention to both the enemy and also actually being able to deal damage and things like that. Okay, there we go. When you're Mega Evolved, all your moves are plus moves by default. Otherwise, you have to kind of trigger them manually. And you are confused, and I don't like that. I am going to full heal you to get rid of that. Alright, and now there's more of them. Great. I don't know where the actual banana is. I'm assuming it's not you. Whoop, okay. Whoop, okay, alright, alright. Wow, yeah, this is a... this is a problem. You're confused again. I hate that. I hate that so much. Yeah, this is... You can kind of think of this as this game's version of, like, raid battles, too. Because it definitely has that sort of feel to it, where you're usually teamed up with... Stop trying to confuse Raimi. Where you're usually teamed up with someone else. But this is definitely more centered around just boss battles and stuff like that, I'd say. Arceus had its share of boss battles. This game has these instead. Unfortunately, you typically don't get the chance to actually catch these Pokemon, unlike in Arceus. With the exception of the very first one, which actually gave me my... Why can't I not? Pause. Hello? Hello? Game? Okay, that was really weird. Why wasn't it letting me pause? I want to heal that confusion, please, and thank you. Oh, boy. Oh, hi. Nice to meet you. Oh, okay. Yeah. So, yeah, there's a lot going on with this, and it can be fairly nerve-wracking. You've got to constantly be on the move. And we also have that problem again with targeting coming into play. Sometimes it just doesn't let you target the Pokemon for some reason. But in order to be able to, like, actually damage the Rogue Mega Pokemon, you have to be actively targeting them. Which, when this guy is constantly zooming all over the place and vanishing every 5 seconds, it's not the easiest thing in the world. Now, I am noticing that the duplicates have their own little health bars, and that's how you tell the difference. Huh. Oh yeah. With the exception of the first battle, which is actually against this Absol I've been using, you don't get a chance to actually catch the Pokemon at the end of the fight, unlike the like raid battles and things like that in the main series, which is a little disappointing. But you do get rewarded with Mega Stones as you beat them. So if you have your own Bennett, in this case, you can then Mega Evolve it into Mega Bennett. Huh, yeah. And there's Zygarde. Hi. So you continue to successfully save Pokemon from the pain of Rogue Mega Evolution. I am not a recognizable character. You don't know who I am. Not that I wish to downplay the difficulty or scale of the undertaking. After all, only with Mega Evolved Pokemon or Plus moves can you hope to stand up to Rogue Mega Evolved Pokemon effectively. Yes, I was just explaining all that. You don't have to do it for me. However, Zygarde cannot Mega Evolve. That means you will need to hone your skills as a trainer until you can support Zygarde, even with such a disadvantage. This is how you must help Zygarde attain peace and order the peace and order it wishes to bring about. I doubt that detective would be hunting me and Zygarde if she knew its intentions. I wonder why she finds me so suspicious. 'Cause you're definitely not suspicious. In any case, until we meet again, young trainers, I expect great things of you. I guess if you're not familiar with X and Y, you might not know who this guy is, but if you know, you know. That man has quite the commanding presence. Why is he dressed in those rags, I wonder? Oh, I'm sorry, I got distracted and forgot to heal your Pokemon. Thanks, Naveen. Now, I'd better head back to the hotel and take care of some things. I'm not simply in a hurry to get away from this creepy place, I assure you. Rogue Mega Bennett successfully defeated. So yeah, I don't mind the Rogue Mega Pokemon battles. I feel like there could have been... I feel like the way they went about them is basically the best way they could have done it. But just the quirks of the battle system and, like, having to hold down the button to target and losing your target so frequently with things like that. Because, like, in that fight especially, yeah, he kept vanishing over and over again, so I would constantly have to re-target in order to be able to attack. I'm not crazy about that, and utilizing plus moves outside of Mega Evolving is also a little weird. How it's supposed to work is that... Can I find something to target real quick here? Get out here. How it's supposed to work is that you just target, you hit the plus button, which it's not actually letting me do because this is not an actual Pokemon. And then it turns your whatever move you're using into a plus move if you have that capability with that move. But it's just weirdly inconsistent. Sometimes I hit plus and it just doesn't do it, much like sometimes I try to target the Pokemon and it just doesn't do it. And like sometimes, apparently I try to open up the menu and it just doesn't do it. I'm not sure why these little quirks are happening, but it does get a little annoying after a while. it's not terrible. It's doable, it's workable, and there's a lot to this entire system that they have set up that really does function well. So I can't be too angry with it, considering it's trying a lot of things that are completely new. And a series should always be willing to try new things. I feel like a complaint about Pokemon games is just that the series sometimes ended up feeling a little stale, because you're talking about a game series that has existed for decades at this point, and the core gameplay of the core games has always remained largely the same. So having little deviations like this, with this free active battle system and things like that, it helps out a lot to help keep the series stay and remain fresh. So yeah, I have my complaints about how it does things. I have my complaints about the setting, and how I feel like overall, with both battling and exploration and Pokemon catching and things like that, as a whole, I prefer Arceus. But I can very freely see the benefits to what they are doing with ZA, and making it more unique and different compared to a slew of other Pokemon games around it. ZA stands out, which is good, and that I can really appreciate. I might as well evolve this guy while I'm thinking about it. He's been sitting here ready to evolve for the entire video. Like in Arceus, too, you have to manually evolve your Pokemon. They don't evolve automatically, which I think is fair. If you want them to stay a certain Pokemon for a while, that's totally up to you. And we're going to put you back with the other Alpha Pokemon here. One last thing I want to do, though, is show off something I usually don't show off, and that is the online battling with this game. So yeah, just to reestablish, I have my complaints about how some of this game functions, and I feel like I just enjoyed Arceus a lot more overall. But everything this game is doing has its place. It is done for the sake of making the game unique, and it certainly is unique, and it's refreshing in a way. It's not your traditional Pokemon game, and that's a good thing, because a game series should always be willing to explore and do new things. It's what keeps the industry fresh and alive. What is not super, like, intuitive to this game being, fresh and fun and things like that, is the ranked battles. We're gonna go ahead and connect online, and we are going to do maybe a couple ranked battles. So, first of all, I do want to address the problems that people are having with the ranked battles, especially in regard to the fact that Greninja up there and the other Kalos starters have their Mega Stones locked behind doing ranked battles. Meaning, not only do you have to have a Switch Online subscription to obtain them, you have to battle your way all the way up from rank Z to rank K in order to even have that chance of getting it. It's one of the rewards for reaching rank K, basically. So, it can take a while to earn, and you basically have to pay money to do it. To get your Mega Stone, to Mega Evolve your Greninja. And once this first season is over and they move on to the next, it's a complete question mark as to when you might be able to obtain the Greninja-ite Mega Stone again. This is really stupid. This entire thing, locking content behind essentially a paywall, this is really dumb. And I don't like it. This is genuinely a bad decision, and it's one of the things that I can point my finger at directly and say, this is wrong. They should not have done this, and this definitely takes some points away from the game for me. The ranked battles aren't like a core element to the gameplay by any means, but at the same time, they shouldn't be locking up content behind them. You should be able to obtain these Mega Stones through other means. And as far as I know, you can't. So, yeah, I don't like these. And I feel like a lot of people don't like them. And I also am not crazy about these for another reason. Let's jump into a battle. Right now, with the way the rules are, we can only use certain Pokemon in a team of 3. And we're gonna just wait to get thrown into a battle here. It uses the same active battle system as the main game. Excuse me, I'm almost out of tea. My throat hurts. Dang. It uses the same active battle system as the main game, so if you know that, you'll be able to play the ranked battles fine. I would definitely recommend practicing in the main game beforehand, just to get used to it. Some differences include you're only allowed to swap Pokemon out every so often, until you get knocked out. And essentially what these are big battle royales. You are 4v4, a battle royale of 4 at a time, and whoops, and you have to try and pay attention to all of this nonsense going on around you. And it's kind of dumb because you can get knocked out really quickly. This person wasn't it wasn't even on screen and she knocked me out. But yeah, it's just I defeated K-pop. Oh no, all of K-pop is gone now. And it's my fault. And gradually, over the course of the fight, you can build up Mega Energy and Mega Evolve too. And it's all fine and dandy. Get out of here. Ugh. You gotta try and pay attention to what you're doing and exactly... you're Mega Evolving, you're an Ampharos. That's not good. My Pokemon are gonna get knocked out. Yeah. These are, unfortunately, a chaotic mess. There's not really a lot of strategy, I find. And sometimes you just get completely destroyed immediately for, like, no reason. Because these are just big mashups of people beating each other up. There are, like, 87 for alligators everywhere. Oh, get out of here. No, get out of here. It can be a problem. And it feels like, it genuinely feels like there is zero strategy to this. And it's just kind of a mess to try and pay attention to, and it doesn't really work that well. considering you can just get knocked out at any time and just be completely destroyed. And there's definitely a bias towards using certain Pokemon like Gardevoir and Mega Evolutions and things like that. If you're not Mega Evolving, you're basically gonna have a bad time. And a lot of people really like spamming Alpha Pokemon because they naturally have higher stats than regular Pokemon. And more often than not, I find, you end up having these situations where someone is just completely dominating and spamming certain Pokemon, and it's pretty blatantly obvious which Pokemon are going to give you the best advantage in order to win. Because certain moves are far more devastating than the others. Like I said, alphas are a really big problem because they are just naturally more powerful than your average Pokemon. Do I want to do another one? I guess. Let's do one more. But it's just... I don't really like it. It feels like it's far too chaotic to really properly keep track of sometimes. And you see people spamming the same exact Pokemon a lot. Basically, every match you are almost guaranteed to see a Feraligatr or a Gardevoir. And you're also going to very frequently see Pokemon, trainers with entire teams of Alpha Pokemon. Especially Alpha Pokemon that can Mega Evolve. Like this gigantic Dragonite right here. And there's also definitely a bias towards jumping into someone else's battle and then basically stealing kills. That's essentially what just happened there. I was having a one-on-one fight with those guys, and someone decided to take advantage of that, to take advantage of weakened Pokemon. Nope. No, you don't. I'm gonna fight you. I'm gonna try and fight you anyway. Alright, I got one kill. And then I immediately got knocked out. Cool. Yeah. I mean... I don't know. I feel like... And... Get out of here. Okay. They're also really hard to concentrate on. Sometimes I feel like I get lucky and I can score lots of victories. Other times, not so much. Because, like, right there, I don't even know what knocked me out. I have no idea. Apparently it was him, and he just knocked out both of our Pokemon. Ay, ay, ay. Alright. Sometimes you can kind of take advantage of the chaos and sneak up and land super effective moves and things like that. Other times, not really. Defeated Will, apparently. That's great. Where there's a will, there's a way. And also, sometimes, it feels like some moves hit and they don't for, like, no reason. I have a hard time keeping track of exactly why my moves are not hitting. And then you have moves like that, which just rampage through and devastate everything, and it's just generally not fun. And you also have these situations sometimes where people will just get in the lead and run away so they won't fight anymore. Like, they secure a lead and they don't... Nah, I really want Feraligatr out. Okay. Yeah, there's 10 seconds remaining. I don't know what good it's going to do to try and fight. considering people are just gonna kind of wander off and not let you fight to kind of keep their lead, so they don't have to be confronted and possibly give other people points. That time, tied for second. Not bad, I guess. I've gotten a couple wins, but it really doesn't feel like when I won, I did anything special to win. It was just the same kind of chaotic nonsense every single time. And a lot of the times when I get devastatingly trounced, it's usually against alphas and like the same kind of 3 Pokemon. So there's a meta, I guess, that people have discovered where certain Pokemon are just naturally going to be more adept to dealing with the ranked battles, with what moves they learn, and if they can Mega Evolve or not. But the whole thing just feels like a mess. I don't really enjoy doing it. But in order to get the other Mega Stones in the next couple of seasons, I'm going to have to do this again in the future. Excuse me. I'm dying here. Oh. I'm gonna have to do this again. I'm gonna have to get all the way up to rank K again in order to get the next couple Kalos Mega Stones. I don't even know what the point of getting up to rank A even is. But I'm not crazy about it. And again, locking the Mega Stones behind the rank battles is really stupid. So yeah. With Pokémon Legends ZA, overall, aside from the rank battles, I am very much enjoying myself with this game. I have my gripes, where some aspects to it, I feel like they could have been done better, and just in general, I feel like Arceus did some things better than ZA. But that doesn't take away from what you can see they're doing and what they're trying to accomplish with this game. They are trying to set it apart from the other Pokemon games and even the last Legends game. And I kind of hope that's a trend continuing forward with the Legends series, where they continue to try and do new things with each game, just to kind of keep it fresh and prevent it from coming as one note as the main Pokemon series sometimes can feel like. In recent times, with things like the last 3 generations of Pokemon, Generation 7, 8, and now 9, they definitely are trying to keep the main series fresh as well, with how you go about game progress and things like that. And it's definitely welcoming. And stuff like ZA is also incredibly welcoming. Just because I have issues with the game doesn't mean I don't like it. And I do like this game a lot. I think that it is doing a fantastic job setting itself apart from the other Pokemon games and accomplishing new things. And I hope that you are enjoying it as well if you've been playing or you have played it at this point, because I know some people have already finished the story and are spoiling the ending on... I need you! I need you! Get over here! I need you! I need you for a quest. I got distracted. I know there are some people who have already finished the story at this point and have made it their mission to, for whatever reason, post endgame spoilers uncensored on social media. Thankfully, I haven't seen any. But yeah. I'm also gonna catch you just because I feel like it. Because I feel like it, but okay. But yeah. I have my problems with the game, but that doesn't mean I'm not liking it. And I am definitely liking this a lot. I am looking forward to continuing going forward, not playing the ranked battles until the next ranked battle season, and just having a great time learning about the story and learning what's going on in the city of Luminose. So, overall, I would say I give Pokémon Legends ZA probably an 8 out of 10. My biggest complaint being the rank battles and just some of the quirks of the system. Which, you know, it probably largely has to do with the fact that they're trying a lot of new things with this game. So I can't really fault it for that, but there's just certain things about it that I wish were done a little differently. Let's go to photo mode. Gonna switch around. We're gonna have Doggy Dabsol do a little dance. We're gonna give a little pose. Heh. We're gonna laugh triumphantly. There you go. And screenshot. There we go. And I guess we're gonna leave it at that for right now. So, thank you very much for watching this 1 week later gameplay review of Pokémon Legends ZA. I hope you're enjoying the game as much as I am. And until next time, this is your good friend Sparky signing off. And I will catch you later.